Hello. Welcome everyone to the Little Black Couch on this Friday. You know what? I forgot to shut my door, so we'll just leave it open. How's that? And you know what? I forgot to do a couple of things. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a problem for me as we get started. But thank you so much. I'm going to try to do this thing that Nick Fitzgerald does, and that's bring you up on Facebook on the screen to see all the stuff that's going on, right? Facebook to make sure we're live and doing all that. So we're going to give that a go this time around for Nicky Fitz. If it's good for him, it's good for all of us, I believe. So, and we'll see if that works, right? Okay. So, all right. We will. So yeah, you're going to get a view of, oh dear. There we go. All right. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that, folks. Oh man, when you go ahead and schedule a live, it can get a little crazy when you think, oh geez, it's 20 minutes away, and then by the time it comes around, it kind of sneaks up on you. So anywho, thanks for being here today. As you probably saw in the title, we're going to talk about partnerships, and this is going along with a discussion I had earlier today. There was we have these group calls where we discuss things, and one of the participants in our group call was getting ready to sign a partnership agreement, and she was kind of nervous about it and asked, hey, has anybody had any experience with partnerships? And we do these live sort of video chats, and I started to laugh because I've had a few experiences in partnerships, and so I again began to share with her some of my ideas, and I realized, oh, I got a whole lot of stuff to say about partnerships, and so we are going to do that. We're going to talk about partnerships, and we will do it after this short intro break. Still gets me. I love it. Anyway, thanks for joining me here today. Yeah, partnerships. But before we get into partnerships and things, I wanted to, as always, we have our little friend here, our friend the Little Black Couch. So that's my. There you go. Right, partnerships are supposed to be, right, exciting, and boom, you get them together, and everybody's pumped to be part of it, and sometimes it's that way, and sometimes it isn't. So that is what we've represented. If you can see there, can you kind of see right underneath the couch there? There's a yellow ball, and then there's that lacrosse ball that I'm using to great pain and suffering to try to make my Achilles feel better. But yeah, so the story behind those balls is, so my wife this morning, I've got a sister-in-law who annually goes on camping trips with her father, and they take the older kids and they leave the younger ones behind. And so we have in the past watched the younger kids for them, and by we I mean Carol, my wife. No, I am okay with the kids. I got up every night with the kids, okay? So everybody back off. But when they're not your own, it's a little bit harder. Right, but for my kids, yeah, I get up and feed you. I'll change your diaper. If you're my little peeps, you betcha. So any of you looking to be adopted, yeah, that's what it takes. Anyhow, so he came in. She had to pick him up like at 6 o'clock this morning because they wanted an early start to get up camping. I'm the kind of guy that would, wait until, 9, 10 o'clock. It's too dark to go. So yeah, let's wait and try to go camping tomorrow, and we'll get one more night in the comfy bed, and then lo and behold, we do it again the next night. In fact, reminds me of a story. I was once a Boy Scout leader for our church, and that's kind of it used to be. I mean, there's been sort of the Boy Scouts are a disaster now, okay? Let's just point blank period. They're a total joke. And so I'm an Eagle Scout myself, but when my kids got to the age to go into Boy Scouts, the wheels were already coming off, and I'm like, this is just going downhill fast. It's going down in a flame of glory, and I don't want my kids to have any part of it. So I didn't make them go. They could go and have the fun activities and stuff, but I did not require them to be Eagle Scouts, whereas my father, if you weren't an Eagle Scout in our home, you didn't get your driver's license, right? So I knocked mine out like when I was 13 or 14. My brother, underneath me, he decided to see how, if my dad had a lot of resolve in that promise, and he didn't get his driver's license till he was almost 17. And it was after he got his Eagle. So yeah, I believed Pops was going to stick to his guns as he had most of my life. And so I got mine done. But anyway, neither here nor there. So my boys, I didn't really put them into it. I didn't require them to do that. But when I was Boy Scout leader, I had a really hard time because you're required to go on these campouts. And I don't like camping. I love being outside, especially with a golf club in my hand where the grass is manicured and there's a snack bar nearby and some cool beverages. But I don't like, camping, and I don't like sleeping with a rock sticking in my back, and I don't like snow caves, and I don't like any of that stuff. I am not hardy. Yeah, no way. No thanks. Parents, like, if I don't have the dads coming along with their boys, then we're not going camping. I refuse to be like a Boy Scout babysitter. I'm not doing it. So they would come out, and they actually were pretty good. I must say, they were actually really, really good. And we went down to this place called Moab. That's kind of southeastern Utah. It's kind of the mountain biking capital of the world. And there's Red Rock trails and all that. And we used to bike all over it. It's great fun, but not camp out. We'd always drive home to sleep in our beds or have motel rooms, right? So, but we were going down there and we're going to camp out and we're going to do hikes in the river and all this kind of good stuff. Well, we did. We all went down there and we all set up our tents, including me. So we all set up the tents. The boys had their dads with them in all their tents, and I was alone in my tent, and we had like our church leaders there too as well. And about midnight, and I'd park my car kind of out all around and then kind of walk in. Midnight, Aaron Stewart went and got in his car, drove into town, got a motel room. So, and slept there. I'd get up like at 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I'd go get like donuts, so then I'd come back into camp with donuts and I'd be like, whoa, yay! Our leader, Aaron Stewart went and got donuts. Yay! Thanks, Brother Stewart. And so that's how I got around it. I did not sleep on the ground and did not camp out the whole time I was a Boy Scout leader. And it's tough to do, folks, but when you're dedicated as I am, you stick to your guns. You got to stick to your guns. Anyhow. Boy, that was a long story. I apologize for that. But I do not camp out. That's the bottom line. And so I don't know why Carol's sister goes camping out other than her dad likes to do that, and that's Carol's stepdad, so Carol doesn't have to go. And so we watch the kids. So he was in here, and that's where I was going with this. The balls you saw. Okay, so the balls that you see under the couch, those are leftovers from Connor, our nephew, who likes balls. Wow, that was a long story. What are we into this thing? 9 minutes? I apologize. Okay, so yeah, we have the nephew for the next 7 days as they go camping, and we are in air-conditioned comfort with him. We'll have a good time. He's a fun kid. He just learned to walk, which is a little interesting, right? I mean, as they wobble around and fall down a million times and then, boom, pop back up, and any one of us fall down like that, we'd be in traction, right? Back would completely break in half and be over. All right, partnerships, okay? Shall we get into these partnerships? All right, folks, this is, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the problems and things that you have to look out with. You really need to be careful with partnerships. And then probably some better strategies for partnerships. And hopefully it's helpful. Any of you that are considering partnerships, and I get them, partnerships are a great way to grow more quickly and a great way to get your message out more quickly. You know, you have a lot of this whole concept of affiliates and partnerships and they call them joint ventures online, but they're really not joint ventures when you go share lists. But whatever, it's not a true, you know, by the textbook joint venture. But I get it. You're working jointly, and I guess it is a venture. But anyway, but there is an actual joint venture system that you have to follow. And anyway, that's beside the point. So when you go into a partnership, these are the things that I have learned. And every one of these things that I tell you about to be careful of, I have absolutely been kicked in the teeth about and have it's turned out disastrously. So partnerships can be wonderfully helpful, and I've had my fair share of those. And partnerships can be completely disastrous and horrible, and I've unfortunately had my fair share of those as well. So first and foremost, when you go into a partnership, especially as an entrepreneur, go in thinking that that partnership is going to end, that it will run its course, that you will be done with them someday, or they will be done with you, and it's going to end. And from the very first day you're partners, you prepare for that to end, because it will. Especially if you've got the product and they've kind of got their own little system and things going on, especially if you're using like any sort of a vendor, like if you're using like social media, advertisement, or SEO, or whatever it is, they're going to not be around forever. And if they have if they're a huge organization that has a big list and they're going to market their product, and one of two things are going to happen, and this is why the partnership will end eventually. We as entrepreneurs are always looking for new, better ways to do things. And when you see a company start marketing or doing something with your business over time, you will start to see the inefficiencies of what they're doing, and it will tick you off. And you'll think to yourself, oh, I could do it better than that. And you're right. You could do it better than that. You probably don't have the time to do it better than that. But just knowing that you're sharing profit with an organization that is not as efficient as they could be will drive you mad. It is so hard to sit and watch it. So try not to, but you will. And then you'll have all these ideas on how they could do it better. You may choose to share your ideas with these people, and they will tell you where to shove your ideas because they've done it the same way for a long time and you're paying them anyway. Why would they want to be more efficient? So that's one frustration. And then eventually you'll get to a point where, and so if you're always thinking about an exit strategy and that you're eventually going to leave, that takes the sting out of that a little bit. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, the writing's already on the wall. These guys aren't going to work out. Well, you knew that from the get-go. This partnership is going to end. It is going to end. You're not going to be, especially if you're sort of a kind of a solo person, a lot of ideas, and you like to pursue things, hanging out with people that are inefficient will drive you mad, right? So, and you may decide that, hey, you know what, I'm going to pull that in. You can learn a lot of cool things about marketing, about sales, about even bookkeeping, accounting. I mean, lots of stuff, right? Automation, systems, and you might bring in these partners that are helping you with this and helping you grow your business, and then you'll figure out ways to do it, or you'll figure out the way they do it, and you'll realize, you know what, I'd be better off just having that outsourced to some group down, offshore, or hiring somebody to come in here and take on 5 of these tasks and just have them in-house. Okay, so always expect the partnership to end. Always have an exit strategy in place. Part of the exit strategy should be this. The list of customers that comes in is shared. It's not their list and it's not your list, it's shared. Don't get stingy and creepy about the list, and do not ever never sign a contract where you say, yeah, you know what, we're going to work together, even if they're huge, even if they're a massive partner. We're going to work together and we're going to sell our products. But as soon as our agreement stops, I have no right to contact those people anymore. They're not my clients. Don't do it. Absolutely don't do it. as Russell has said recently and has said many times, and I agree with him 100%, the money's in the list, right? The business is in the list. If your partnership ends and you didn't get a list out of this partnership, you don't have a business anymore. You're starting from square one. Never sign an agreement where they own the list and they're going to keep the list. Ever. Tell them to, well, tell them to enjoy the walk. No, just never do it. I don't care how awesome it looks. None of that. If I realize that there's a real temptation to go for a cash flow hit, a quick hit, whatever. Not worth it. If this partnership ends and they end it, and you knew it was going to end anyway, and they end it, you will have the next day no business, right? And that's also why with this exit strategy, as soon as you stop, right, as soon as you start the partnership, you start thinking about what you're going to do when this partnership is over and preparing for that. So what are you going to do with that list? As soon as this partnership's over, what are you going to do to instantly jump in and bring them on as your people? Completely your people. And so have something in place. Now, during that agreement, that partnership, there may be some limitations on who can contact the client and when and how often and whatever, because neither party wants to burn out the list. But as soon as that partnership's over, be ready to deliver a ton of value to get them on your list and be your people. Usually the partnerships don't do this. They think that, it's their list in the first place, especially if they're bigger than you. So if you jump on it quickly, you have a huge advantage. So one of the first things you should do after a partnership is start really planning your exit strategy and planning the email sequence and plan that all out. So when it happens, and it won't take you long to put that into place, and you can flip the switch the first day you're free. Okay, it's awesome. That is a great way to go. And all of this, I will say that you will get, not all partnerships are going to end well. And so you are going to have some resentment and some anger towards some people. They may have cheated you out of the last check or two. That's happened a few times. And they think the partnership's over. What can you do about it? And it's not worth going to court over, right? So that kind of thing will happen. If you're not careful, this whole idea of this resentment, this frustration, this anger, hopefully not, but perhaps, hatred is poison to an entrepreneur's soul, to anybody's soul. But as entrepreneurs, we have to be in a creative, happy sort of state in order to really be, firing on all cylinders. And resentment gives this other group so much power over you and over what you're trying to accomplish in your business that is completely not worth it. So you do not want to get into a situation with your partnership where when it's over, you spend the next 6 months, a year, 2 years being pissed off and angry and mad that you didn't get what you deserved out of it, or upset that this or whatever. Who cares? It's over. Move on. And if you've taken the steps to prepare for that exit in happening, then that reduces this a great deal. Where you don't feel the resentment, you knew it was coming all along, and now you're going to bust out and you're going to do it right because you've got your exit strategy in place and you fired it up and you're going. And now you're back to building your business. You have the list, and now you're taking that list and you're turning them into a group of individuals, a tribe that loves you and is now going to follow you and be with you. So those are some of the big things that I wanted to say about partnerships. The last thing is, one of the best partnerships, and I'm setting one of these up right now, and think about this in your strategy going forward, because these are the type of partnerships that can last a very long time and can be super beneficial to both parties, okay? So I have a nutritional product that I'm going to sell, and I usually have it here, but I don't because I used it today. Started using it. But so I have this nutritional supplement. It's got some upsells and OTOs and all that in the funnel, right? But part of the stack, and this is one of the coolest things you can do to build your stack, and also take, when you look at your value ladder and where your people are going to naturally go when they come to your product, find a partner that provides value in the ladder going up in an area in which you have no interest in going. So for example, in this particular nutritional product that I'm going to sell, obviously these people, they want to be healthy and they want to take care of themselves, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a really cool product. It's made from 100% organic fruits and vegetables, yada, yada, right? So that's the product. Okay, so my avatar, the people that I'm marketing to, my bestest client or potential client are going to be people that are health conscious. Usually they like to work out. I love this drink. I take it every day, but I'm not one that's going to work out. But that's beside the point. Most are not like me. And so what I've got built out in my stack is I've got like a smoothie recipe book where you can use this thing in different smoothies that are awesome. And I've partnered with this buddy of mine who's a nutritionist, and he has now taken all these smoothie recipes and put them into a software, and he spit out a nutritional panel for every single smoothie. So I can show them all the protein and the vitamins and everything in every single smoothie, how many calories and all of that. So it's not just a recipe book. I'm also telling them, look, this is what you're getting out of this smoothie, right? So that's helpful. And then we've got like an ebook. He's written an ebook on how to lose weight responsibly without counting calories, which is brilliant. And so I helped him edit it and get it all ready to go. And that's a cool part of our stack, of my stack for my offer. And then also he's got like a little simple workout program or whatever. And we actually have that in a membership area. And that's part of it as well. So if you buy any product from me, you get those, depending on how much product, you get one of those things in the stack, right? It's just a nice way to increase the value of the stack. You get them all for free. But all of them are now branded with his brand. So everything in the stack that's totally free is branded to him. Okay, and then we're going to share revenue on the people that will come into my funnel and buy my stuff. They'll get his free stuff, and then there's a page for them to go and get a special discount on his nutritional plans and his programs and coaching and all of that kind of stuff. Everybody that goes into that funnel that signs up, I get a piece of that back. And then he's going to market to his list and push them all into mine, and then we're going to go back and forth with that. It's a totally different funnel so we can see where they're coming from. So that's kind of a synergistic partnership where he gets to stay in his lane and focus on the workouts and getting healthy through the physical exercise. I get to stay in my lane about nutritional products, and he and I are probably going to come up with some sort of products together down the road. But right now, I'm pushing people to him because naturally speaking, that's just a natural flow in the value ladder. That's probably what they want next. And I am not interested in exercise. I am not interested in getting into exercise. I'm not interested in any of that. I have zero interest in that. But I realize that's part of the value ladder for the folks that are probably coming in looking for it. So that's a really cool way to form a partnership where I'm not handing them all my clients, and we're not sharing stuff based on what I'm selling, right? That's still all mine. I'm bringing in the clients and I'm making all the money off mine, but then I'm taking a piece of whatever I push to him that he's able to sell. So, right? Generating leads for him. And then he is selling to his people that he already has. Hey, go here and purchase some nutritional products, and then I'm paying him a commission on that. So it's kind of a nice little circle there. And how that works. Those are cool partnerships, and those are fun because you have your own separate business and it's always running and it's always cruising along. And then if he gets tired of you as somebody who is generating leads for him, or it just gets to a place where it's weird, that's fine. I just come up with another free bunch, another stack, and then I'm on my own. Or I go out and find another partner how many fitness coaches are out there, right? I could throw that golf ball under the couch right now and hit a dozen. So anyway, so there you have it. Those are some little things on partnerships that I thought were important to share, and I shared them earlier today, and hopefully they're helpful to you. I love partnerships. I've got some of my best friends are my partners in business, and some of and some people that I hope to never see again were my partners back in the day. Oh, side pulls. It's time for side pulls. It's all right. I'm not going to do it. That will be 773 days of being told to do side pulls that I haven't done it. Anyway, Well, happy weekend to everybody. I hope that you enjoy the weekend. I hope that it's a lot of great fun. That's awesome. Sorry. I hope it's a lot of great fun for everybody. One last thing. That's it on partnerships. But one last thing. I wanted to show you something that I came across this week as kind of a cool tool. And I'll probably do some training on this. But so there's this tool. I'm always trying to figure out a way to make your website more interesting, right? And really a cool, we try to create our site so we can get people following us and kind of learning about our attractive character and joining our tribe, right? And so we want to drive them to some of our social media accounts where we have a lot of our personality and stuff going on where they can learn more about us. And so we go out and we stick these little logos, right, of the different social media platforms, and just kind of hope that everybody clicks through. But folks, people don't, when we used to look at a lot of analytics on all of our client sites and all the competitors, and we're talking probably 1 million sites over the years that we've analyzed, nobody's clicking on these little social media icons. So they look great. It gets you a link. There's a lot of benefit to them, but as far as like getting people to join your tribe, these aren't working. Okay, so I've known that it doesn't work, and I've tried to figure out different ways to do that to make it more interesting, to where you go in and you're like pasting photos or you go and copy a bunch of them and do like a carousel and try, but then you have to remember to update them, and before you know it, it's 3 months old, and now it's none of the new stuff. And the logo's changed and your branding's changed. Anyway, it can be a total nightmare to keep up on that. So I was just messing around trying to solve a problem for somebody else who's a buddy of mine in a different group. And we've kind of been talking about, how do we solve that? And he's done some work for me recently on one of my sites. And so we were trying to figure that all out. And I found this really cool system. So I'm going to bring it up I might just do that real for fun. Yay, I found it, but that's not what I want to show you. So, but we can look at it for a while if you want. What I want to show you is, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so this is, I don't like that. Can I change the size or whatever? Oh, you know what? How square? Oh, I like that better. Okay, so this is, get me out of the way. So this is a product, a site called Curator. So it's Curator.io. And it's kind of cool because this is the dashboard. It kind of shows you so you can see that I signed up for this July 17th. What is it? The 19th today? And I've got, since putting it on the site, again, it's not live. I'm just testing it right now, but I've already got 227 views of people that have looked at some of the stuff, right? So some of the stuff that I've been putting up. So what I did was, you can kind of see, you go in here and you aggregate your stuff. And so these are all my accounts that I have tied into this. What's cool about this system is they will give you 3 feeds for free. They don't charge you. So you can literally run this for free. And as long as you're okay with some heavy regulations they put on that free account, it's really cool. I mean, 3 accounts is plenty. You could get your Instagram page, your Facebook page, or maybe 3 Instagram pages, or a Facebook page and 2 Instagram pages, whatever. But for you and for your clients or friends or whatever, 3 social media feeds is pretty great. Really, you only need 1, right? And it only should be the one where you want to drive most of the folks, right? But anyway, so you put in your accounts. Then you've got this curate section, and this is where you go in and you can see here, you can pull in your different feeds here. So my podcast is pulled in there. My Instagram feed can be pulled in here. So you can pull in all your different feeds and kind of get an idea of what's coming in and what it's going to look like. And then you go to publish. This is where it gets tricky. If you are ClickFunnels folks, then I don't like it when it does this. So reset that, and then we'll publish it. It does this sometimes. Publish. Let's see if I can just go and forget it. But you'll publish. Let me see if I get a different feed. It's better. So this is my podcast feed. Let's just go ahead and See if I can publish this. Okay, so then you go and publish it. It will give you this code, okay? So if you're a ClickFunnels person, you'll take this top little code here, the div code, the div HTML, that goes where you want the feed to be on your page, okay? And then the script here, it goes up into your footer section where we stick, like if you've done CF Pro tools or all that, it's JavaScript and it just goes in there. So you have to put the code in 2 places. But then once you do that, what's cool about it is you have all these different, you've got all these different ways to show it. Waterfall, carousel, panel, grid carousel, list. So you can display it a bunch of different ways on your website. And what that looks like, I went ahead and went to my site and did kind of an example of all of them. So this is my podcast in a panel feed here. Then you've got my Little Black Couch Facebook, which is, this is what they call a waterfall feed. And then you can go in and change how many of these are shown at a time. A carousel feed of, the Little Black Couch, and this just kind of rotates through, which is kind of cool. This is a grid feed. So when you hover over the top, it kind of brings up the text underneath it. Kind of a cool feed, especially it's a cool feed if you've got a variety in your posts. But for like the Little Black Couch, where all of my quotes look exactly the same, probably not that interesting. My wife thought this was awful. And then you've got this list. I don't think the list works very well for videos, but it actually looks pretty good with some like Instagram and stuff. And then you can go into your page and shorten these columns, so it doesn't have to take up the entire page. You can shorten it to a third, a half, whatever, and then that changes the list a little bit. And then this is just a buddy of mine's Instagram feed. He does a lot of golf course photography, so I just brought that in as a waterfall. Pretty cool looking, right? So I just wanted to show you that really quick. That's a fun tool and it's free. And I'll do a little bit more of that with some automation and stuff that we're doing to kind of get some helpful hints when it comes to publishing your website and being online. But this is really a cool one to get your tribe a little bit more interested in what you're doing. And it's definitely way better than just having those little icons for your social media. You want to bring them out and show them your personality. Right? So that's how to do it. So that's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, that's it for now. I do think that you guys are awesome.
We just want you to know.
As a mate.
You're amazing.
You're the bomb.com, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that clarity.
Cheers, man.
So hopefully that provided some clarity today. And we'll say goodbye to Buddy for this weekend. I don't know if we'll be publishing tomorrow or not. I hope you guys have a party this weekend and really enjoy yourselves. And until next time, be careful with your partnerships. Have a great weekend. Until we talk next time, do good and be well. Thanks.